What's up, Robin James? It's your team, Team Honk Honk Goose. Coming at you again with the nail in the coffin for this coding challenge. Today we have our Java group project, the shopping cart. We're going to go to the next slide. So we had a number of coding tasks to accomplish, and these are the admin stories we've done and the user stories that we've done. And then in addition, because we're so amazing, we added additional functionality for the admin status. So I'm going to ask Jordan to explain that functionality.
Yeah. So came up with this bright idea that we should probably add a admin login because, why not? Because we don't want any Tom, Dick, or Harry to be able to log in and monkey with our inventory and such and set prices to whatever they want, free 99. So yeah, in SQL, under users, we added a boolean for admin status, so either a 1 or a 0. And
security locked down.
why? Security pal.
Security pal, yes. Okay, so we did all of these stories and then some. And now we're going to show off just some of the key screenshots here from our console.
These will be user interface screenshots. So that top left one is like the visual login for what it looks like when you're a user. And it gives you your name, thanks you for logging in, and then gives you your shopping menu.
All the things you can do to give us your money.
You want your money.
And then as you can see, there's what it looks like when you're adding an item to the cart. This is what it looks like when you're deleting an item from the cart, when you're viewing the cart, all of that functionality. Anastasia, I'm going to pass it to you.
On the left here, you can see the admin login screen. And then in the center there, since you're the admin, you can do some super awesome cool things like updating a product status if it's in stock or out of stock. So you don't have to sell 500 PlayStations when you only have 400 PlayStations, and everyone gets mad at you because it's Christmas. Then they're allowed to change whether it's in stock or out of stock. And then we print out telling them that it's in stock, that it was successfully accomplished. Underneath that, you can see the create product, which we showed off in other videos, with our Rob spatula. That is the low price of $69.99, which is far too low for something as amazing as Rob spatula. And you can decide if it's in stock or out of stock. And then over on the right, you can delete products like the Ninja blender because ninjas are so blended in that they don't want to sell their secrets like a Ninja blender. And so you could delete that product. Going on to the read all products. When we did read all products, we always created 2 instances. One for that would return us back to the main menu of either admin or the customer shop menu, and then one that just reads it. So when you alter things, you can see the list of things that are available.
Now we have some screenshots from our actual database here. This looks like the same product from the screenshots on the prior frame, but just in MySQL.
The raw data.
The raw data, that's right.
Who would have thunk it? The Java database would have access to all this stuff through the Java database infrastructure. JDBC, all the connections.
And then our script that wrote our give us your money store database.
This is a historic moment, actually, because you can see right here, this is the code. If you ever wanted to see what the first code for Facebook is, I mean, I'm not sure you can find it, but if you want to see what the first code for Give Us Your Money is, it's right here.
It's groundbreaking. It's the best.
No one has better code. Okay.
Especially not mildly cold ramen.
You're just a bunch of limp noodles. All right, so we decided to pick some of the methods that we were really proud of and that we thought were really cool. So we have our admin login, and I'm going to pass that one off because there's a genius behind the admin login.
Oh, are you talking about me or?
I believe so.
Oh, the use of the word genius was throwing me off. So yeah, that was the code that I had came up with for the admin login. Literally just using the same login bits as the user login, except we're just substituting. I believe admin status is the one thing we're adding at the end of the SQL statement. And I mean that's.
But it was out of the box thinking because it wasn't asked for, and that's what makes it amazing.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's really nothing crazy. It was just reusing the regular login code, except we're just adding admin to it essentially, and checking for that because I think regular login was checking if the user status was active or inactive, basically.
I really appreciated the functionality of this updated product method, especially because it made working with those items in the cart a lot easier. Instead of having to just delete everything and then put it back in, you could update it. So yeah. Create product method here. This is where it all begins. This is where those products go into that store, that Goose store.
Yeah, my favorite part was the little if else statement that I wrote to convert the 1 and the 0.
Yeah, will you explain that a little bit?
So essentially, was it set int 3 there? We're doing that as status, so that's the 1 or the 0. And basically created a null string called print status, and then we're running an if the status is equal to 1, then print status is in stock. Otherwise, print status is out of stock. So if Rob's spatula came back as a 1 through that data, then it would print in stock. If it came back as 0, it would be out of stock. And then the print statement below that uses print status rather than status. That way we can, get our pretty string out there in the world.
One thing I'm going to say is that I realize time-wise, we're a little bit at risk of getting booted out of this meeting room, so I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. We have our delete product method here. Of course, it's necessary to delete the product.
And all that fancy printf.
Very pretty printf. The reason why I wanted this one in the slides was because of that SQL statement. Thinking about how things work together, and if you want to delete something from the database, but it's in someone's shopping cart, you can't do that. So you have to join the two tables together to make sure that that item isn't in anyone's shopping cart. So there was a little bit of complexity with that SQL statement, and that's why I wanted it there. Just to show if you have a good understanding of your own database, then you can do all kinds of things.
Very true.
All right, and so now we're going to talk about some difficulties that we encountered. And I think a lot of our difficulties weren't technical. There was a lot that goes into meeting together with our different schedules, different skill sets, and different ideas about doing things. I do recall that we had a lot of problems deleting our items initially, and so we needed to get that streamlined in order for our code to work.
It was mostly in the shopping cart. If someone had multiple items of the same type in the shopping cart and we deleted it, it would delete all of that type of item. So if you had 8 Ninja blenders, it would delete all 8. So we changed the SQL statement with a item equal to 1.
Well, we never implemented that. That was a potential fix.
I thought we did, but we didn't. Okay.
No, no.
We fixed it.
The initial problem we had was we were setting the wrong ints in the wrong spots. So we were setting ID number for product ID and product ID for ID number. So that's what the problem was. So it wouldn't do anything.
We fixed it in our minds. We figured out how to fix it.
Yeah, by putting limit at the end with 1 or whatever quantity you want to limit it to.
Yeah, and then we had some issues with GitHub too. I don't know why, but I was having trouble with my forking. So
Every single time they pushed to my account, then they would have to delete off of their desktops and then re-download from the master version. We're not sure how to streamline that better, but
We'll
and then of course, what's that, Jordan?
We'll just have to fork with it a little bit.
fork with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Eh?
I like it. And then, of course, you know, the relentless verbal attacks and spying and dirty tactics and all kinds of nefarious nonsense from Mildly Cold Ramen. That was probably the biggest impediment to setting up our store, but we persevered.
The persistent non-existent.
Ooh. Yeah, so recommended enhancements. We think we should add a prompt to ask the user if they want to add additional items after they've added an item to the cart, because as it stands, you have to go all the way back to the menu. So that'd be a relatively simple thing to implement that would increase usability pretty substantially.
And the unresolved deletion thing I mentioned in the previous slide. So we can go on to the last one.
Secure passwords, hashing and such.
It doesn't seem like too hard of a thing to do, but
Here we have a link to the GitHub repository, which I won't click because I don't want to be taken out of this. And then this is some information about us. I'll start with you, Anastasia.
hi, I'm Anastasia. I was tasked to be the project lead. I was the head honker, I guess. And I created the original structure of everything. So I decided I got the name structural engineer.
Yeah, and I did some work on the back end with some support, and also I think I've been a pretty good ambassador for TeamHonkHonkGoose.
You're our hype man.
That's right. I didn't write hype man, but that's essentially what this means.
Oh, it's a fancy way of saying hype man, brand ambassador. Yes, I concur. And then I was just I had boring titles. You know, I was the project engineer, master of ceremonies, and the lead engineer of nachos.
I also think you were a sort of grand poobah of code.
Well, the master of ceremonies.
So this has been bittersweet to work on this week because it's our last submission, and I've had a lot of fun working with you, Jordan and Anastasia, and I've learned a lot from working with you, and I'm really glad I was on this team. So thank you for that, and I hope as we go into the winter break that yours is excellent and that we all stay in touch.
Do we have anything else we want to say?
Your Hakuna Matata.
My Hakuna Matata.
I think this is
so.
This is Team HonkHonkGoose signing out. Jordan, let's do the honors since you are master of ceremonies.
So the way you would, if you're not sure the next time you're actually going to see somebody, you would say "Ohuiho Molama Pono," which literally translates into "Until next time, be well."
All right, Ohuiho Lamo Cuomo. This is Team HonkHonkGoose signing off.